Netanyahu confirms what many have suspected for months, that the Israeli military indeed plans to take over Gaza City. Though mediators from Egypt and Qatar are reportedly still working on a framework for peace, the announcement undeniably marks a major escalation in the now 22-month-long war. Well, Germany said that it would suspend arms exports to Israel for use in Gaza in response. Hamas describing the new plan as a new war crime, one that amounts to sacrificing the lives of the remaining hostages. That announcement also sparking a new wave of protests in Israel, with demonstrators also describing it as a death sentence for the Israeli captives still held in the Gaza Strip. For more, we'll cross now to our correspondent, then Noga Tarnopolsky. Hi, Noga. So again, this announcement was expected, but the details actually surprisingly remain really quite scant.
That's right, Aaron. Good to see you. The details are completely scant. An entire day almost has passed, all of Friday, and the Israeli government has yet to explain what exactly it voted on late last night. This is a cabinet meeting that started at 6 p.m. The vote was taken at 5 a.m., so 11 fairly stormy hours of debate, as far as we understand. And we just have some tantalizing hints. For example, the government's declaration, the announcement that it made, the statement says that the prime minister enjoyed the majority of his ministers' votes. Clearly, none of these votes taken were unanimous. We don't know yet what the debate was about, although there's some suspicion, given the Israeli military's clear and overt opposition to any plan to occupy the entire enclave of Gaza. We think that that may have had an impact, that some ministers may have gotten cold feet. There's also this very intriguing difference between the full takeover of Gaza that Prime Minister Netanyahu announced on a Fox News interview yesterday, just hours before the cabinet meeting, the full enclave being occupied by Israel, versus the authorization by the cabinet for the Israeli army to occupy the city of Gaza. These are two quite different things. Nonetheless, the Israeli government is at loggerheads at this point with its own top military brass, possibly with the reservists, with its population, and with its international allies.
So, Noga, I mean, this means that Netanyahu's government is ignoring not only growing domestic pressure, but also really widespread international condemnation. I mentioned Germany earlier. Just moments ago, we also heard from Egypt, Saudi Arabia, the European Union, all of them condemning this announcement, and also saying that it needs to be reversed. So with that in mind, is executing this plan even going to be realistic?
That's a great question. Prime Minister Netanyahu obviously believes that he has the full support of U.S. President Donald Trump, and that is enough, at least for now. But one of the questions that Israeli journalists are asking today is, who's going to fight this war? The Israeli army is a unique system based on conscripted soldiers and on massive reserve forces. So this new operation would require months of a new draft of hundreds of thousands of reservists. To the best of my understanding, they are now, at this point, 22 months into war, responding at a rate of between 30 and 40%. It could be very difficult for the Israeli army, even if it wanted to put into place this plan. In addition, there are wider and wider protests by Israeli parents whose children, whose 18-year-old high school graduates are conscripted to the army, who are saying, I don't want my kid to die in vain. There were thousands of such people out at such protests last night.
Noga Tarnopolsky, then sounds like this story is to be continued. Thank you very much, as always, for that context.